Released out of nowhere for free on Halloween, Deltarune immediately proved itself to be a captivating experience. From its intro sequence until the final moments of what's only the first chapter, the entire experience is as gripping as it is clever, playing on every expectation an Undertale fan may have. Not only has the combat system been revamped to accommodate multiple party members with various roles in the group, but even familiar characters and story beats have changed in unpredictable and unusual ways. Despite being a vastly shorter experience overall, there's a lot about Deltarune to discuss and unpack, even as we go into 2019. With Toby Fox hitting on all fronts again, it's no surprise that Deltarune manages to be 2018's best surprise.
You okay, Arthur?
Sure.
You don't look okay.
I'm fine.
What you been doing?
Acting like a fool.
It's no secret that the hype cycle for AAA game development has been out of control for years now, but it's phenomenally difficult to think of an example of a game failing to hit the marks of expectations quite like Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar's games have always occupied this weird space where they've been held up as immersive and bold for decisions that other games have been derided for, and seeing that trend continue in the wake of Red Dead 2's release has been baffling. An overblown, bloated mess of a project that sacrifices fun for realism and immersion except for when it doesn't, Red Dead feels like an example of a game that wants to have its cake and eat it too. Useless and unnecessary systems pile on top of useless and unnecessary systems to create an experience that's less a video game and more of a chore. That bloat, combined with the stiff, awkward gunplay, a story that could have easily had at least 10 hours of fat trimmed from its hide, and an inconsistently written protagonist who flits between being an honorable cowboy and a complete sociopath with such regularity that it sometimes happens multiple times in the same mission, only served to make Red Dead 2018's biggest disappointment.
Been out a lot.
Sure.
Anything fun?
I've been bad. I've been killing animals just for the hell of it.
That's it.
Well, also killed a bunch of innocent folk. I don't know why.
What's wrong with you, Arthur?
Groove Coaster feels like a sugar rush as a music game. The soundtrack is varied and heart-pounding, which is very fitting for a high-paced game like Groove Coaster tends to be, and the visual aspect of playing through each song, as busy and overwhelming as it can be at times, is very well crafted and enhances the flavor of the game to truly make it shine. Every track feels like a world of its own, and even the less interesting or less fun to play songs offer unique experiences that still draw me back to them time and time again. As a strong selection of DLC continues to be offered, I keep digging into Groove Coaster and happily lose my time trying to climb to the leaderboards and learn how to master ridiculous charts. No other game this year caught my attention and held it as much or as strongly as Groove Coaster has.
Swery has always been known for entertaining writing, even if that writing wasn't always the best, but The Missing feels like an entirely new format for him. While there are still those moments of classic Twin Peaks-esque non sequiturs explaining some sort of specific concept or thing, the story focuses a lot more on text-based or realistic interactions. Plenty of games like Spider-Man or Persona 5 have integrated instant message-style conversations into their games, but they've never really been the entire crux of a story. The Missing makes me excited for the prospects of more modern methods of storytelling in the future, where a story doesn't have to be told strictly through disembodied or one-sided audio logs, but through a different and less vocal form of conversation.
Sharks didn't minister that Major Emerald. Major Emerald.
From infinitely fast walking speeds to nylon bags to completely doxing their own users, Fallout 76 was truly 2018's shittiest gift that kept on giving. Originally pitched as everything you'd expect from a Fallout game but online, reality quickly set in as it became painfully clear that this was going to be a paper-thin cash-in. Even players who tempered their expectations were not prepared for the absolute shitstorm surrounding the game. Even now, more and more disappointing news keeps coming out about the future of Fallout 76. The game's most die-hard players and defenders are now upset that the new cosmetic purchasables in the in-game Real Money store are going for upwards of $20 per costume. Not to mention, as found in a recent changelog, the game will soon support the biggest wet fart in the entire gaming industry: loot boxes. Shine on, you Turdy Diamond.
2018 was a year of introspection and healing, very antithetical to 2017, with a lot of the best games being throwbacks to simpler times, like retro-styled platformers and RPGs and beat-em-ups. So when Luca crashed onto the scene, it defined itself as a radical act of violent self-care. Luca is why I am here. A lot of games feel fake and dead inside, made in their little pixel factories and whatnot, and they expect us as players to fill their husks of a play space with life. But Luca is a real one. I've been playing it all year, and ever since I reviewed it, I haven't stopped playing it. I keep coming back to its tight controls and sketchy atmosphere. I want to hear that crack sound of a perfect parry. I want to get better at this game. I want to break it. It took me 9 hours the first time to finish the game to its ultimate conclusion, but with practice, I've gotten 100% speedrun of the game down to 2.6 hours. And I'm pretty sure I can go below 2 hours with more practice and better routing. Luca is a game that inspires me to be the best that I can be, because it also is trying to be the best it can be. Luca is a bold game within a year of soft pastels that accepts its own imperfections while challenging itself to improve. And I hope we can all challenge ourselves to be the best that we can be in 2019.